April 29th, 2023. Well, I'm going to update everybody on the situation in Ukraine a little bit here, see kind of what's been happening, and then but stay around the end because I have a little bit of information on the subject of my previous video on the firing of Tucker Carlson. I come up with something I really just kind of recalled from recently, and I think this will explain a little bit probably um, what may have happened. Uh, uh, so, anyway, but on the Ukraine front, which is the main topic here, basically, I think as far as the battle line, it really hasn't changed a whole lot overall. There have been a lot of, in terms of movement, there have been a whole lot of battles all along the line, and modest Russian advances, I would say overall, with a few Ukrainian counterattacks in some areas. The Ukrainians did have a certain river crossing expedition back by the river, the Dnieper River, and that's. It seems like that's kind of contained. The Russians have attacked it with artillery. I don't know if they're still there or not, but I don't think it's much. I don't think it's a real invasion or anything. I don't think it's the great offensive that people have been talking about. So, but at any rate, so kind of get into what's happening. I think the main thing that's been noticing, which we kind of got from the leaked documents, is that the Ukrainian air defenses have been substantially depleted, and so we're seeing a lot more Russian air activity. The other thing that's kind of gone into is the Russians have created their own version of satellite guided bombs. We have ours are called the JDAM, which is a weapon that you can put on the standard high explosive bombs of 500,000 and 2,000 pound classes, and they can be guided to very precise targets with GPS. Well, the Russians have concocted something similar with their bombs. I guess I don't know whether they're using their GLONASS system or what they're using to guide them with, probably that. And they've been using those and launching them from a distance, and they're flying in and hitting targets and destroying things, and I think inflicting some damage. So that's kind of the way the war's been. The air war has been amped up from the Russian side, and there's not a whole lot of response from the Ukrainian side. They did get some jets, but they haven't really showed up too much in combat yet. So, by the way, if you like these videos, please give me a like, and if you haven't subscribed, I would like to get more subscribers. I appreciate everyone we get. Yeah, and so anyway, but back to this. So that's kind of what's happening. So the real battle then is focused on Bakhmut as always. It seems as if the fact that the Wagner group has been sort of restricted in recruiting more prisoners, um, and apparently their numbers aren't as great as they were, and so the Russian airborne troops have been brought in on the flanks to kind of help them complete the job in Bakhmut. And step by step, they are making quite a bit of advances, but it's slow going. But now they're doing things like just blowing up whole buildings and stuff with these bombs. And so I think that some people say that it's about 90% occupied by the Russians, with some of the residential areas and a core buildup area where there's kind of central Ukrainian defense is. But it looks like that, I don't know, everybody's paying a pretty big price over this thing. But it seems like it's maybe not predicting it being over is a little bit much. But right now, also, the roads are being slowly but surely cut off by attacks on the flanks. And it looks like the overall condition has been very rainy, from what I understand. And so, really heavy mobile operations are kind of ruled out for the moment. So, we're still awaiting the possibility of a large Ukrainian offensive sometime later in May, perhaps, or June, although people are continuing to doubt whether or not they really have the wherewithal to really carry that out. So anyway, that's kind of the situation there. And there's ongoing missile attacks across Ukraine also from Russia. They keep showing the situations where a civilian target like an apartment complex is hit, but it's regardless of how sinister one might want to try to make Putin out to be, is it really using $1 million class plus missiles to hit apartment complexes. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, um, so I'm guessing that the ones that are hitting the apartment complexes, either those that have been shot down by Ukrainian air defense, and so they just fall free into wherever they land, or maybe Ukrainian air defense missiles that miss the target and are falling free, hitting civilian targets, or just ones that simply malfunctioned. But I can't imagine they're really doing this because it isn't doing enough damage to be sinister, and it's not really uh, economical. So I'm guessing that the real targets are actually military targets and infrastructure and that sort of thing. But at any rate, that's kind of the way the war is going. So we're still kind of waiting for the rainy season to end and see, what the impact of this new equipment coming in. By the way, the depleted uranium rounds that Britain promised to add have arrived, so those will be there to arm the 14 Challenger tanks. So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, that's kind of it on that. Now I want to get back to I did promise a little update on Tucker Carlson, because I ran across something which on Redacted, which I'd kind of forgot about, but I remembered it after I did my last video, and I started thinking about it, and I'm thinking, they've had all these flaky reasons. After all, apparently the 8 o'clock Eastern time period, Fox News is losing almost half the viewership by firing Tucker at the moment, so it's not going too well. I don't. So that's one aspect of this, but the question is then why did they take such an action? And they've been talking about various language and text messages or the friends that got revealed and all this minutia, and I'm thinking I don't think that's really it. And I think I've run across what the answer really is. It's really about the war. So in this clip from Redacted, I saw essentially it's an interview with Tucker Carlson on Redacted, and he's going into kind of where he come to his philosophy, and it goes back to his actions back during the Iraq War and what his original reaction of totally supporting the war, and apparently when he went into Iraq, basically I guess about 9-10 months into the war, he came back with some different conclusions and everything else. But I think the thing is that that I think he was talking to somebody who was higher up in the Fox management, and I'm trying to think, who it probably is. Actually, it was an email, I think, but it was probably from probably Lachlan Murdoch, I suspect, the son of Rupert. I'm guessing it was definitely somebody who had the authority to make a decision about his employment. Let's put it that way. And I think to get rid of him, it would have to go higher than just the immediate Fox News CEO, I think, because it was kind of too central. And basically, this email was saying that this person, whoever it was, I think I know who it was, just guessing, said that they were for the war. And Tucker basically responded, well, basically, I'm glad that you're allowing me to freely express my opinion on your channel, basically. And so I'm thinking, I see this as maybe it was a little bit of an attempt to slightly nudge him to back off from his position, but obviously didn't. In fact, in this, even probably assuming that this individual did see the same thing I did, probably he's pretty adamant why he won't change, why he thinks what he does, and if he might be fired for it, but so be it. So I think we now have gotten to what really is there. These other things are nuisances that they would probably put up with for the ratings, but I think ultimately this gets into the whole position of the Republican Party. Paul Ryan is on the board of directors there at Fox, and there's all the whole political establishment pretty much is for the conflict based on the theory, I guess, that somehow Russia's on a real rampage to take over Europe or something. And he, for instance, Tucker totally disagrees with that theory. So I think we know kind of what that's my little tidbit. I think that's why he was fired, and I think, and of course they're definitely paying a short-term price at least for it, and we'll see what happens next. I know he did his Twitter video indicating that he's still out there, and there's rumors that Newsmax is trying to hire him. I've heard that. I threw that out as a possibility. It would be kind of not so good for Fox if that happened, particularly if they put him in the same time slot. But anyhow, just wanted to say that. And so, anyway, I'll wrap this up for now. I'll be also, of course, as always, posting this on Rumble as well. And of course, the links to my social media accounts are in the description below. I'll also put a link to the video clip that I was talking about. Until next time.